4:48 is your time. Sure, maybe a little chilly start to the day, but much like goodness, Clay, yesterday. I mean, I was honest to goodness regretting not playing golf yesterday.
It was the perfect day to be outside. We ended up hitting 58 here in Chattanooga, and compared to what we've had really for much of the month of January, yesterday was a really nice day, and today's going to be similar. So if you missed it yesterday, you got another chance today. Temperatures, yes, are cold. Everyone's at or below freezing, with the exception of Blue Ridge, still hanging on to 33 degrees. Likely to see these temperatures drop a few more degrees before the sun comes up, and then we're going to shoot back up into the mid to upper 50s. I wouldn't be completely surprised if someone hits 60 degrees across North Georgia, or maybe even here in Chattanooga as we get into your afternoon. High pressure still building in, but we're going to have a front that's going to start to form all across the southern plains. That's going to bring us some rain later tonight, but for the first part of the day, really most of your Friday, we're going to stay dry, and then late tonight into Saturday morning, that's when we're going to track our next round of rain. So enjoy the weather today because it is going to be beautiful. Here's a look at 6 o'clock. So still dry, a little bit of clouds starting to move in. Notice your timestamp here, about 11. Here comes the first of the rain, and we're going to have several waves moving through during the overnight. Now, not expecting anything severe, but there could be some heavier downpours, maybe a rumble of thunder. Rain continues through the middle of the morning tomorrow, and then we could have some additional showers during the afternoon, but a bulk of the rain is going to be done by the time we get into the afternoon on Saturday. So Saturday morning, going to be pretty wet. The afternoon still going to be dreary, but temperatures will gradually start to drop late Saturday into your Sunday as that cold front passes off to the east. So the latest rainfall totals likely to be around 1/2 inch. Some areas could pick up a little bit more, some a little bit less, just depending on where the heaviest rain sets up as we move into early Saturday. But of course, the big story on everyone's mind is going to be the bitterly cold air on our way. Now, still monitoring the potential for winter weather at some point next week. Very cold air mass going to be in place, but it looks like the storm track is going to be further to the south. And what that means for us is we have a better chance of staying cold and dry. So here comes that Arctic air. It's going to begin moving in on Sunday, and Sunday temperatures are going to drop very quickly. We're going to continue to see that Arctic air penetrating further to the south as we move into early next week. By Tuesday, that cold air and Arctic high pushes the storm track into the Gulf of Mexico, or suppresses it for us. So if this cold air didn't surge quite this far to the south, we'd have a better chance of seeing that storm track a little further to the north, which would give us a better chance of winter weather. But as of now, and again, this can still change, but it looks like that most likely scenario Tuesday into Wednesday is going to be a southerly tracking system, which means we would generally be cold and dry, and there would be winter weather in some very unusual places. So let's take a look at our storm track. This is the European model. So as we get into your Monday, dry, cold, area wide, and then we're going to have the system starting to develop off the southeast coast of Texas. And look at this, blue breaking out near Houston, and by the time we get into Tuesday afternoon, there's a potential it could be snowing in New Orleans, Jackson, Mississippi, Houston, Texas, and this is going to slide right along the Gulf Coast. So you don't see this every day. It's happened before, but it's very rare. New Orleans, Mobile, Alabama, and look at that. Yes, that is the potential for some heavier snow coming down across the panhandle of Florida. As we get into Tuesday evening, and then this turns into a coastal system for the Carolinas and maybe even getting into South Georgia. So usually if we're going to get snow in the south, it's going to be further to the north, Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga, upstate South Carolina, western North Carolina. This time looks like it's favoring the deep south. So that's something we're going to monitor pretty closely. But if that trend holds, we're likely to stay cold and dry. And then by the end of next week, there may be another system that could give us some wintry weather here across the Tennessee Valley. But for now, I wouldn't expect too much in the way of snow. Again, that could change. Model guidance has been all over the place. Typically has a hard time determining how far this cold air is going to push. So we'll keep a close eye on things. But the big story is going to be the bone-chilling cold. Dangerous cold for this latitude. We're looking at wind chill values near zero by the time you wake up on Monday, and even during the afternoon, those wind chills likely to only stay in the teens before dropping back into the teens and single digits by the time we wake up on Tuesday. So going to be very cold moving forward. So that's why I encourage you to enjoy today, because temperatures really going to drop off Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, not even going to get above freezing. And then we climb our way back into the 40s by Thursday of next week. Overnight lows Monday, or I should say morning temperatures Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday and Wednesday, all going to be in the teens here in the valley, single digits in some of our mountain and plateau communities. So coldest air we've seen in quite some time here. We're going to have the chance for a few mountain snow showers, maybe even in the valley. We could have a flurry or two on Sunday as that Arctic air begins to move in. Breezy and just bone chilling cold on Monday. Stay in the house if you can. Tuesday, 30 degrees, not much warmer. And then we claw our way back into the 30s. But, you know, Paul, just very unusual week of weather coming. When we're talking snow in New Orleans, Mobile, Alabama, maybe even the Florida Panhandle, something just don't seem right.
No, it doesn't. I mean, that's when you get those headlines. We joked about it earlier this week. It's like iguanas freezing out of trees and just falling.
And now you could have accumulating snow in Florida, places like...
Accumulating?
Yeah, it's going to be possible. I mean, depending on the track of this, but we're talking like Pensacola. It's going to be interesting.
All right, I'm going to ask a question later about the track of that, maybe in the 5, 6 a.m. hour and how that could impact us. So I know you're talking a little bit about it, but I got many questions up here. Thank you, Clay.